Let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Neil Kent, and he writes, "Hey Alex, so Tyler Perry has said that he does not have a writer's room. He writes slash directs his own shows. Do you think directors should have or should write their own content, or should directors have others writers help them write their stories?" Well, thank you for your question, Neil. What Neil's referring to, literally the past actually couple of days, sometime last week, there was a video that surfaced that Tyler Perry is in this room, and I believe somewhere in his studio, where he has scripts of stuff, scripts of content, and he stated that in all of 2019, and probably in all of his productions, he's written all of his stuff. And this is something that he feels as though he doesn't need a writer's room to tell the stories that he wants to tell. So for me, I have two sides to it. As a director, as a writer, I've written, like, for instance, all the movies that I've put out, I wrote. The current movies that I'm working on now, I have written. I think that to be authentic and a little bit more creative, you have to challenge yourself in terms of the content that you want to see on screen. I mean, if you're putting it out, you're writing it, you're developing the time, then you do those things, right? If you feel the need to write your content, I feel it's great. And when I look at Tyler Perry's content, I mean, if I'm being honest, a lot of the stuff that he's written is actually great. So clearly he's doing something right. I'm not a fan of all of it, but some of the stuff that I have seen from Tyler have been good stuff, and he's written it. So I can't say that, him not taking on a writer's room would have made his content any better, because it's already better, So for me, I think it is important for directors and writers and content creators to write their own stuff, because it's more authentic. It's coming from you, right? It's you and your vision. Now, on the other side of that coin, for me, it's okay to have a writer's room, because not all directors are writers, and not all writers are directors. More people feel like they can tell a better story on paper than they can directing, and vice versa. So it's okay to have a writer's room, but in the course of having a writer's room, you as a director, whether this is your project or if you're being hired on as a project, you are supposed to inform the writers, this is the type of vision I want to go for this story. Can you come up with a story that aligns with this vision? And if you review the script and you like what's going on in the script, then cool. Then that's where the great content comes out. Again, having a writer's room isn't necessarily a good or bad thing, but like I said, not all directors are writers. Not all writers are directors. Not all directors are actors. So, it's like you want to give people at their strengths. You want to put people at their strengths. And if Tyler Perry, which we have seen, one of his strengths is writing, one of his strengths is directing, acting, that's, to each his own. But to be honest, like I said, like, he has performed really well with his content. So, I think writing your own stuff and telling your own stories is the way to go. But at the same time, if that is not your strong suit, it's okay to have a writer's room. But what do you guys think? Jump into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's great that he writes his own content, or do you think he should have his writer's room or have a writer's room? Let's start a dialogue about that. So thank you for your question, Neil. Let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from